Hey guys, so glad that we have this opportunity. I've been wanting to for a bit, but it's been about a week since I gave you an update on what's happening in more detail with our partners in Dnipro, Vladimir and Lilia. I'm just going to, what I really want to do today is I want to actually show you what's happening. I want to let you see what your gifts are doing in the midst of some really difficult situations. And so, as many of you remember, Dnipro is down in the east central part of Ukraine. What it makes it particularly important is it is the point when people fleeing from Melitopol, Mariupol, Kharkov, Donbass, they come through Dnipro before they then make their way further west. So it's also then become a staging area for supplies getting into those difficult areas. And Vladimir and Lilia have risen up in the middle of this and become a key part of what God is doing to serve the least of these. And your gifts have been making a massive difference. As I've said before, we've managed to send over together over $81,000. It's incredible. We're so incredibly grateful. And God is doing incredible things with that. And I want to show you today pictures. I want to show you some of what you are doing, the lives you are impacting. And so, again, this church, Blagai Vest, or Good News, they were just a normal church, just like maybe the ones you're a part of. You can see Vladimir and Lilia, they look normal. Well, let me just say this is in the same way that the war has turned a comedian into a general, this has turned these normal pastors into generals. And man, it's incredible what God is doing through them in the middle of some very difficult situations. Again, to give you a little better idea of how they're positioned, if you look, the pink areas are the areas that are occupied by Russia at present. And within that, you can see several different cities. They're in the city of Dnipro, right in the center, that number one. Up to the northeast is Kharkov. It's a city that's been being bombed incessantly. It has been all but encircled since the very first days of the war, but they cannot take it no matter how much they bomb it. They've started bombing again this morning. And down here, number three is Izium. Izium is a city they just took. It's a staging area for a lot of what they intend to do in the coming days. Kramatorsk is the city where the train station was bombed. It's kind of the central area of Lugansk that hasn't been taken. And they are evacuating people out of there en masse. Mariupol is the city that has been under siege since the very first days and is truly struggling. And they've been able to get a lot of people out of there. And Melitopol is a city that's actually occupied. They've been able to minister there. And Zaporozhye is an area right on the edge that has tons and tons of people fleeing. Just to kind of give you a sense. And so part of the reason what they're doing, where they are, is so important. In the coming days, we're going to see some pretty huge moves. We're going to see the Russian army. They're going to be beginning carpet bombing these areas and pushing in hardcore. And right now, people are fleeing. Hundreds of thousands of people are fleeing out of these regions, and they're coming through Dnipro. But the interesting thing is the Russian army, the intelligence is saying the Russian army intends to head towards Dnipro and actually take that entire territory in the process. But have our friends fled? No, they are there. The church is rising up in courage and serving the least of these in the middle of massive panic. They continue to stand strong. And so instead, they're going actually out. They're going into Kharkov and serving and bringing food to those who are in bomb shelters in the middle of bombs. They're going deep into the areas of Donbass like Pavlograd and I think even Kramatorsk to get people out. They're creating caravans of cars to get people out. They're actually even going into occupied territory to bring needed medicines. It's unbelievable what they're doing. We're just so honored to get to partner with them. And so what I want to begin to show you, I want to show you who they are. Again, they are just a normal church, normal Sunday morning, normal, just like maybe you and me. There they are. They're just having church. This was from a few weeks before everything started. And then the war began, the invasion began. And in a moment, they were transformed into an army. And they rose up. Every single person had a place in the army. You look at these are normal people. But extraordinary times create extraordinary people. And they have responded to the cry of God in their heart to serve. And it's been incredible. And so I want to show you some pictures of literally all the pictures I'm going to show you from this point on are from the last 2 or 3, 4 days. All right. These are just what have happened. I'm just going to say, what are they doing? In occupied and threatened territories, they're bringing needed food and supplies like insulin, things that people can't live without but are not available. Then they're also evacuating people out of cities like Kharkov, Pavlograd, and Melitopol, and even Mariupol. In Dnipro, they're feeding, clothing, and housing refugees. Then they're evacuating them further to the west. They're giving needed food and supplies and medicine, and they're doing this all out of the goodness of their heart. They are giving nonstop. They've given everything they have, and we're just coming alongside to give them more to give away. And so let me just introduce just show you the team. How about these ladies? These. Listen, nobody sits on the sidelines. These are powerful women who've been serving 24/7 for like 49 days. Oh my goodness. This is a team of people they've gathered together. That's Lilia on the left, who are gathering together to deliver food to those who need it most. They're going out, they're finding shut-ins. They're bringing food to hospices and hospitals. They're bringing it to the needy wherever they can find them. They're actually coordinating with tons of other churches. Oh, they need this over there. I've got that. Oh, they've got this over here. Okay, I can get that. And it's amazing how the church is unifying through this whole season. They've also, they are putting together evacuation trains. These are guys who simply volunteered what they had. None of these vehicles, I believe, none of these are vehicles we help purchase. These are their own vehicles that they've just volunteered to be able to help get people out. And when everybody else is fleeing the opposite direction, they're driving straight into the battle, straight into the most dangerous places to get people out. Do you see the joy on his face? Oh my goodness. Look at that joy. Man, he's wearing a helmet. They know what they're facing. They know that they are risking their lives. And yet you see the joy of the Lord. Come on. The joy these guys have of being able to be in the battle. Some of them are studlier than others. Oh, God is good. Man, this is the joy of the Lord. When you're walking and what he's called you to do, even though you're running to the battle, you can do it with joy. Man, awesome. So one of the things that I said they're doing is they're evacuating people. They're evacuating people who don't have means to get out. Listen, many people fled, and the first a wave of people fled were people who had like other people living in other parts of the country. They had means to get out. Then the next group was people who were sent out maybe by train or by car, but they had resource that was going to be waiting for them. Then the group left that they literally had nothing waiting for them when they left, but they had the means to get out. Now we have a lot of people who don't even have the means to get out, and they're helping these evacuate. I mean, wow. They're loading up buses. They're getting buses any way they can, loading up with people who are desperate to leave at any cost, and they're not bringing anything hardly with them. I see a sliver of hope. Kids fleeing. They're ready to roll. But even in the middle of this, you see, even carrying kids, that sign says Dzieci, children. Even then, they're getting shot at. They're getting out, though. They're going back in. They're full of joy and hope to get people out. This is incredible. What an honor to stand with them. And then once the refugees are reaching the church, some are just showing up on the doorsteps. They're just putting out the word that there are people, amazing church like that will take them in, will not ask anything of them, not take advantage of them. Look at them. If you just saw them out, you wouldn't think anything of it. You think everything is fine and dandy. You wouldn't think these are people who've lost everything. And yet, this is what the church is doing. They're rising up. This little girl has created this. I don't think you can see it, but it's like duck. It's like little what do you call them? Oh, I know the word in Russian. Band-aids holding together the two parts of Ukraine. Man, uh, here they've set up, craft stations. These kids that, they don't know what's going on. They're caring for them, creating normalcy for these kids. They're providing food. They're providing places to rest. Many of them, a group showed up a couple weeks ago. For 8 days, they had fled on foot from Mariupol. They had not drunk normal water in 8 days. They had drunk from swamps. This is what's happening. But again, just creating normalcy for these kids, providing normal food, caring for them, making them feel human again. Wow. Oh, so good. But then they're gathering supplies. One of the things that's happening right now, they estimate that the Ukrainian economy will shrink by 45.1% as of now, if nothing else happens. Well, guess what? That means that people are being cut off from food, supplies. They don't have the basic things for living, especially if they're part of the vulnerable populations, shut-ins, the weak, handicapped, the poor. And so as a result, they are gathering supplies every which way they can, and they give them out several times. They've emptied their warehouse out with no idea where the next group is coming. You see here so many. You've got diapers, you've children's supplies. Here we've got, this is mostly children's food, baby food. Again, baby food and diapers are some of the hardest things to come for, and women's hygiene products, some of the hardest things, especially in occupied areas. Potatoes, you got to have potatoes. They're gathering them every which way they can and delivering them to people. Children's food, delivering the food, getting, toilet paper. If you went through COVID, they're loading them into vans and they're getting them out to the people wherever they are. Canned food, and then what they're doing is they're distributing them. Here, this is medicine. I don't know what that medicine is, but I know they're distributing insulin. They're distributing medicines that people will die without, but they're simply not available, particularly in the occupied areas. One of the things they've done is they've given people an opportunity to demonstrate, to say thank you. And just by thank you, by taking their picture. And these are people, you're going to see a whole lot of people here. They're making a delivery to a hospital of needed supplies. They found hospitals where literally everybody but one surgeon and his wife fled in Kharkov, and they're providing the needed supplies as they were literally down to the point where they're washing bandages to reuse them because they have nothing. Again, look at all the medicines they're able to bring to this hospital. Supplies, everything, everybody's on, everybody's supplying what they have. So many supplies are coming in from, here's some more medicine being distributed. So many, diapers. These are, I believe, are in Melitopol. Again, they're doing this at no cost. They are sharing the gospel as they do, but it's as natural as breathing. Why are you doing this? Because he loves you. They're also actually holding impromptu services as well for people there, and people are coming to know the Lord in the process. Oh my goodness. I mean, these were people who were living a normal life up till a few days before. And they are so incredibly grateful. And they're going to eat tonight because of what you did. They're going to actually have what they need for their children because of you, because of the gifts you've given. So many of the people that are forgotten, they're the ones they're actually able to care for. They're also even supplying the military, because sometimes a lot of times these volunteer brigades have no supplies. They're getting the funds to them. And they're providing, and there they are again. Here's some boxes that people in, I think these came from Germany or France, where they boxed up. You think like Samaritan's Purse, but these are supply boxes, and they're like, this is for a girl. It says, here's, they've actually set up beds. Their entire church has been turned into a dormitory. They're now able to sleep up. They've been having over 130 every night. This is a Sunday school room. They have them actually bunking in their entryway. They're everywhere. But he's got a box that we've given for a baby. Again, they're coordinating with French, but even to get the supplies, they actually have to have gas. And gas is in short supply because the Russians have been shooting the fuel depots, and you have been helping them get the gasoline to be able to collect supplies to then distribute supplies. They could not do what they're doing without you. Every single one of these people is going to have what they need because of you. Again, supplying the military. Again, just a normal guy, but he's at the point. These are proud people, but they're at a point where without what you've been given, they would not have what they need. So I just want to just say this, guys. Every penny that you're giving, Mark for Ukraine, is sent there as quickly as possible. Sometimes we're actually, it turns out we're actually ahead of it. We've been sending more than you've been giving, because sometimes people are telling us, hey, I've got a check for, $6,000 on the way, and we will send the $6,000 immediately and just assume the check is coming. We're sending it because they need the money today. We can't wait. And so we'll take the risk ourselves. God is doing so much. We don't want to miss the opportunity to come along behind, because of your gifts. They're able to buy food, medicine, mattresses, toiletries, body armor, even, and gas. But also you're helping them to get vehicles so that they can get the food there and get people out, get the supplies there. And so I just want to say, listen, if you have a heart to give, and you want to find out more, you can go to ariselife.org/help-Ukraine. Don't capitalize anything. Just ariselife.org/help-Ukraine. You can find out more. There's a button there on how to give. It will take you to our giving site, and there you'll see it. The fund will be Ukraine Relief Fund. Again, we're monitoring that constantly. As soon as money's coming in, even before it hits our account, right? When we're seeing that it's been given, we're arranging for wire transfers all but daily to get the money there. Again, all of this will go to the church Blagayevist and to Vladimir and Lilia to distribute. Some of you have asked if you can have further documentation for legal reasons. I get that. We are a 501c3 as a church. We can provide you that kind of documentation. The speed at which things are happening over there, it's just not possible. Perhaps some of the documentation you want. That's part of the reason we wanted to show you these photos, so you understand what's actually happening in real time. So often, I had this thing, Vladimir just posted this a few days ago. He said, this is what I managed to do today. I sent cars to evacuate people, sent 3 buses of food to Kharkov, 3.5 hours away. Refugees were welcomed and brought into the church and made at home. Then he had to later meet with the French and Americans on as pertaining some humanitarian aid. Then had to actually take care of his own pets at home, make sure they were still alive. Didn't think he'd get a chance to do that. And then, of course, distributing. They're baking somewhere between 600 and 1,000 loaves of bread. They're calling it bread of hope. And then we're able to purchase another bus and then give assistance to a hospital. They're running and gunning constantly. I want you guys to know we love them, we trust them, we know them. And so if you want to be a part of this, again, just ariselife.org/help-Ukraine. And we will get those funds as quickly as possible. We're in a very narrow window. I mentioned this. The Russians, we've been talking about this. The Russians what they're going to do is they're going to carpet bomb, and then they're going to do a massive overland offensive. And there is a limited amount of time. The actual mayor of their city, the city of 1 million people, Dnipro, has told people to flee. Our friends, Vladimir and Lilia, are not. But there's a limited window to be able to get people out and to get supplies in. So, guys, we want to take advantage of the opportunity. The bombing looks like it started in Kharkov, which is a signal that is probably going to begin to happen throughout Donbass. And especially once they feel like they've fully taken Mariupol, then they will turn. It will really begin. And so we have a limited window. If you want to be a part of helping to support them, that we would love for you to partner with us. Again, ariselife.org/help Ukraine. If you've got questions about what's going on or anything, I will say this: some people say, "Can I send stuff?" It won't. We can't get it there. There are chains of things to get there, but right now, funds allow them to purchase and get the supplies they need. Listen, I will say this as well. There are many great organizations working with refugees who can give you, if you're looking for a super high level of documentation, they can give that to you. It really bless you guys to give it. More than everything, though, please be praying for them. They need, listen, we were able to have an amazing time of prayer with their whole team yesterday. Online. It was amazing. We were able to encourage them, but they're tired. They're 49 days in. The amount of panic and terror that they get to deal with of people bringing in every day, it's overwhelming. Pray for their strength, pray for their courage, pray for their hope, pray for their joy, because that's also the biggest thing they get to give away is joy, hope, and Jesus. And so pray for them. And we love you guys so much. Thank you. Thank you again. If you got questions, also, you can always go to info at ariselife.org, and you can email us questions as well. Listen, have an amazing, incredible day. We love you all.